Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Josh Guillory Show. I am your grateful host, and in studio with me, Q-licious over there. What's up, Q?
Oh, I'm enjoying this lovely weather.
Yeah,
it's
man.
Perfect for the week before Christmas.
All right, we good on Rumble?
We are good on Rumble.
All right, we're broadcasting live on rumble.com. Go to rumble.com, look up the Josh Guillory Show. Also on YouTube, all of our social media platforms, and my personal X page, which is at Josh Guillory USA. And, of course, live from the 96.5 KPL Studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Shout out also to our KLFY Plus viewing audience. Very, 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 very grateful to have everyone. All right, lots to talk about today. Don't know if we'll get all the way through it. But, you know, I sure as heck am going to try. So, House Republicans, let's talk about Obamacare. Obamacare, been a hot little topic. So, House Republicans basically just handed Democrats a procedural win. Not all. Remember, slim majority. Louisiana helped with that. Yeah, so House Republicans, we just handed over procedural wins over there to the House Democrats on Obamacare subsidies, to be specific. Now, and this comes after 4 GOP members signed onto a discharge petition. Well, what the heck is that? Discharge petition pushed by House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. Now, what this does is it forces a floor vote. No option, nothing. And specifically on this, what they're voting on is the 3-year extension of the Affordable Care Act subsidies. So now at the same time, so all this is going on, well, the House, they passed another piece of legislation. They passed their own health care bill that intentionally leaves those subsidies untouched. So same week, same chamber, 2 totally different strategies colliding in public. So let's go over a few little key notes here. For Republicans, let's see here. Brian Fitzpatrick, Mike Lawler, Rob Bresnahan, sorry, Congresswoman, and Ryan McKenzie, they signed Jeffries' discharge petition, hitting the 218 signatures needed to force a House vote on extending the Obamacare subsidies for 3 years. Now, that happened after Speaker Mike Johnson refused to allow a vote on extending the subsidies as an amendment to the health care bill. Now, that's important. That's important because those subsidies, they are set to expire at the end of this month. Not too long. I mean, that's 14 days away. It's 2 weeks away. The Republican bill that passed funds cost-sharing, I like this. So the bill that passed the Republicans' version funds cost-sharing reductions across the board, and that's very important. We good? All right. Reforms pharmacy benefit managers, that itself could include a 2-hour discussion because there's a lot to unpack with that, and I think that was important. A proactive measure would have liked to seen a few months ago. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit. Okay, so remember that reforms to pharmacy benefit managers, that might come up. That might be a point of discussion here in the next few months. We'll see. But also the House Republicans' plan expands association health plans. But it does nothing to extend the subsidies. Now, my folks in Louisiana here, that actually does impact us because as a Republican, you sure we're Republican? This Republican state has allowed 40%, just under 40% of her population to be on Medicaid. That has a domino effect. That has a domino effect big time, especially when you're talking about budgeting. And then we want to, this is why we can't have good things. Don't eat the candy, Baton Rouge. Doggone. I know it's tasty. Don't eat that federal money candy. All right, so moderates over here, well, moderate Republicans, these four specifically, they warned leadership that letting them expire could spike premiums and hurt Republicans in swing districts. So they came at it from a substantive standpoint, and also from a political standpoint. Hey, you're going to impact people, and that might impact the election, and you only have a few seats. All right. Now, who knows? We'll see where that's going to take us, all right? But leadership said any extension, any extension. Now, check this out. Leadership says any extension had to be paired with spending cuts to comply with House rules. Wait a minute. You're telling me that there's a House rule out there that says you have to cut spending before you add spending? What? Someone tell Joni Ernst. But really, where has this been? We're going to selectively, so we're going to enforce it now? What about the Ukraine spending? Why didn't we cut? A lot of us conservatives are like, hey, look, we're going to trust the intel. We'll trust the military if they say we got to do certain things. We could even give you the benefit of the doubt, possibly. But can you cut spending if you're going to spend $1.3 billion? I think it was, it couldn't have been trillion. It was in the billions. But you get what I'm saying? Like, hey, now we're going to enforce that rule. Great. I always want to reward good behavior, so that is a good thing. You should employ this magical, mysterious House rule. When has the House ever used this rule? I mean, there's a rule out there saying that certain expenditures, or I guess all expenditures, had to be paired with spending cuts to comply with House rules? Wow. Kudos right now. Hey, good job. I mean, good. Can you be consistent with that? Because I got a feeling that we're going to have some expenditures coming up. And if that's the rule, when the good idea fairy plucks them in the eyebrow, hey, sounds like a winner chicken dinner to me. I mean, so, man, here's the thing. So, all right, so the House rules are apparently there. No agreement was reached. The moderates revolted. Democrats smiled. So that's where we're at. And when we get back, we're going to talk a little bit more about it. Give us a little chat over there at Rumble. I see you over there viewing. I need to hear from you. Let me see you over there at the Rumble chat, the Josh Guillory Show. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. What's up, That's Real Shad? What's up, Big Tib? I see you. You answered the call. Thank you very much. All righty. So, look, shout out to our KLFY Plus viewing audience. Happy you're here. We are broadcasting live from the KPEL Studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. We are talking about Obamacare. And specifically, we're talking about the Obamacare subsidies that a lot of them came from COVID. We're going to break that down a lot. And they're set to expire this December 31st, so 2 weeks from now. Not a lot of time, okay? Not a lot of time. There's a lot to digest in this. And I got to tell you, my fellow Republicans, come on now. We could have been more proactive in this in Congress. And the president has called... if anybody tries to blame on that guy, I mean, he's pretty much begged him, send me anything and I'll sign it. This first term, I don't like the Obamacare, send me anything, repeal and replace. Nope. No, Mr. President. I know you won on that. I know you had a mandate to do that, Mr. President, and I know you have the House and the Senate, but no. I know we all ran on it too with you. No. Nuh-uh. Psych. It's so weird. Let's break it down. So, and actually, let's start with, I wish this conversation would be more about, like, the basics. Let's start with the basics, because this is a lot to digest, but it's not that complicated. I mean, healthcare costs matter. We know that. Voters feel premium hikes immediately. This is not a theory. That's the thing about all this. This is not a theory in some political science lab. These are human beings. Man, when people open up those bills, you know it. I know it. We know it. They don't care who chaired, like, those bills come in, like the chairman of the Rules Committee or what the parliamentarian said. They don't care. What the folks care about are real things. They care about the number at the bottom of the page on that bill. The moderates, look, the moderate Republicans, they're not wrong to be nervous about that part. I think that a lot of Republicans, even the House bill the competing House bill that passed, I mean, I think that was I believe it's geared towards lowering those costs. The thing about those, it might take a hot minute. And we're already recovering from what we went through. So it's kind of reckless of my dear Republicans up there to not proactively address this. I mean, the president can only do so much, and he told you he can't legislate that. He would. If he could do this by executive order, he would. And he might. Who knows? Then we're really in a little tiff legally. Who knows what's going to happen with that? Kill Swish, what up, man? Yeah. So very interesting. So not too unreasonable. Have some concerns. Now, at the same time, us conservatives, we are absolutely right about something else. These Obamacare subsidies were jacked up during COVID, expanded by Democrat leadership to include in the state of Louisiana, and never responsibly paid for. Locking them in for 3 more years with no reforms in sight and no offsets, that is not conservative. So what just happened is not conservative. And it's not disciplined. It's not even serious. Like, think about it, guys. Here's a problem. Hey, the problem, here's a problem. Here's the problem. The problem's coming. The problem's here. And it wasn't always here. It was in the future. But, here's the thing, though. So the moderates have concerns. So do conservatives. I have concerns about that. And I understand there's other ways to accomplish that, and government's not the answer. Actually, getting government out the way, a lot of it will reduce cost. But conservatives can have a win financially, and moderates can have a win with their heart, which is good. But both things can be true at the same time. Adults can hold 2 or more thoughts at once. We're actually capable of doing that. Business owners do it all the time. The private sectors do it all the time. Those hardworking teachers in elementary school do it all the time. Those police officers do it all the time. You want me to keep going? Us real folks, like, term limits would fix this. But anyway, so here's where I think this all went kind of sideways, okay? And this is where my patience runs very thin. Cue magic. Republicans have known this deadline was coming. That's what I alluded to. You know, like, I'm going to be very clear here. I mean, like, we knew that this was coming, and it wasn't for weeks, and that's what's frustrating here. It's for years, because this lack of attention to detail and this lack of leadership from the legislative body overshadows the greatness that our country is doing right now. And you could very well cost us an election. And then it's almost impossible for Trump to get anything done. And that is silly, when it could have been avoided. You do virtually nothing else. All you have to do, like, really, our finances is one of your only enumerated powers. Why you're worried about what goes on in people's lives is remarkable to me. And I still hear Republicans, I forgot what the issue was, wanting federal legislation to help with some. And it was, I'm not doing you a service by not telling you what it was, but you can fill in the blanks. Guys, we are losing our conservative principles. Good ideas that help people's lives are wonderful at the local level where people understand the local issues. That is an American principle. That is a principle of a republic. States have sovereignty for a reason, and police power for a reason. We've gone over that on and on and on. But we have got to stop this social wand. Like, it's the federal government fix. The federal government breaks unless it's doing stuff that the Constitution says, and it actually magically works very well. Imagine that. But all of this, everyone in that conference, the Republican conference, knew exactly when these subsidies expired. Marjorie Taylor Greene was saying, and I get it, she's got a tiff with Trump and Trump. I'm not getting into all that. And she's not all squeaky clean. I've been looking at some things. I get it. Maybe we'll talk about it another day. Not today, though. But everyone also in that conference with just an ounce of thought beyond their nose, if that's possible for some. But everyone also knew or had reason to know that Democrats would use it as a political nuclear weapon. Everyone knew. Everyone knew moderates in swing districts would panic. And somehow, December arrived with no unified plan ready to go. It's like I see, yeah, you're right over there, Kill Switch. I'm with you on that. But this is poor management, because it's far, far from ideology. I'll tell you that. We should play like the Counting Crows, like a long December. I mean, that's how I feel. I think it's going to be a long December for Congress if they don't get their little act right. All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back. Phone lines are open. I can't wait. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. Broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Also broadcasting from the mothership. Rumble.com. Go check us out, the Josh Guillory Show. Also, shout out to our KLFY Plus viewing audience. I'm just very honored to partner with those folks. All right. Hey, guys, this segment is brought to you by our friends at CSafe. Go check them out, csafe.com. That's SEA like the ocean. So we're talking about Obamacare. Phone lines are open, by the way, 232-1542. Let me hear from you. Good job on the chat. I like it. I like it over there at the Rumble chat. You, too, can join the fun. Let's see. We're talking about the Obamacare subsidies. Now, these Obamacare subsidies are expiring at the end of the year. So, now here's our frustration. Us, even Republicans here. I'm frustrated, my fellow Republicans, because we knew about this. We knew this was happening. We knew that we could, they want to blame the House rules that say that you can't add an expenditure without cutting expenses. I'm down. If you want to invoke that rule on this one, I'll concede. But in exchange, you have to enforce that on every other expenditure that you ever do. I'm down. See, these rules are rules when they want to enforce these rules. It's silly. It's silly. All right, so a discharge petition, that's what was basically needed. Okay, so the House leadership determines what goes on the floor to get heard, okay? They can play some procedural wrestling in committee and subcommittee and all that stuff before the bill goes to the floor. There's another procedural vehicle available to Congress folks, and that is a discharge petition. Now, with a slim majority in the House, it doesn't take a lot of Republicans for the Congress Democrats to have victories. In this case, it took four Republicans who joined Minority Leader Mr. Jeffries, Hakeem Jeffries, in this discharge petition. A discharge petition forces the floor. It says, leadership, you can do what you want. You can play all the games you want. We're voting on it on the floor. Four of them joined with the Democrats. But let me tell you this. A discharge petition, it is not some noble act of courage, okay? Like some of these four Republicans probably are thinking that. It's a flare shot in the sky. That's what that is. That says the majority failed to run its own shop. And in that part, they're right, okay? So Hakeem Jeffries, it's very important. The minority leader didn't outwork Republicans on policy. I mean, really, if you think about it, he waited. He waited while Republicans argued with each other, then splintered off, then offered nervous members a lifeboat, it seems like, and they took it. And from a conservative perspective, that is a real loss. And that's the real loss. Not the vote, not even the policy. The loss is letting Congress Democrats dictate the battlefield because Republicans could not get their act together in advance. And we are in the majority. We could have one more seat, but in Louisiana we chose to give. See, that's what I never understand. All these states are redoing their congressional districts. All these Republican states, are doing these changing their congressional districts to add Republican seats. Our legislature's Republican. They're super Republican. They're super majority, super Republican. But they gave the Democrats a seat. What's up with that?
Didn't they give them one and then try and take one away and then I don't know. It's just really confusing because the same people who tried to give them one tried to take it away after. And
you know what's even more egregious though right now?
What's that?
You see all what's going around. You see Texas. Look, I'm not saying I like what's going on with the census. I don't think it should be political, but that's where we're at. I'm curious because this is a political beast over there down the street. Political machine. Very rare do we have consistent conviction. That's sad. We should. But consistency in that regard is always vote getting and things like that. Like you see all these other states adding congressional districts to Republican seats. You don't think that, like, y'all don't even want to try it right now? Special session? Try it. Hey, my bad. We thought we had to give the Democrats a seat. We thought we had to because that's what was told to. Yeah, you have cover. Plenty of people in leadership positions told legislators that they had to vote on this. You got plenty of cover. A lot of you were new. Really, it's one of the first things you ever voted on. So now you can make it right, and you're sitting on your hands. First of all, you could take away the racist map. You could at least do that, and you would have good grounds. I mean, Louisiana's arguing over that doggone map. Now the Voting Rights Act, it's constitutional. Well, if it's unconstitutional now, it was unconstitutional then. Why are you even spending tax dollars to defend it? Jeez, I'm starting to ask some questions over there. But anyway, this discharge petition, not a noble act of courage. Okay, that's what I'm saying. All right, now let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Eddie first. Eddie, what's up, Eddie? Talk to me, baby.
What's up? I think, man, them clowns that went with the Democrats. Now, suppose Trump would say, okay, this is how the Republicans want to do. Well, I'm going to stop fighting for y'all. You know, that man would ever say that. You know, us common sense people would be screwed and tattooed, and all the Republicans would be crying, saying, why did he do that? Well, look what y'all doing to the man. I mean, okay, yeah. I'm going to get off because I'm about to get mad. And you have a good day, y'all.
Thanks, Eddie. Hey, Eddie, you are just saying what all of us are thinking, man, and feeling. It really, it's a head scratcher. It's a head scratcher. Let's go to Renee. He understands it. Renee, what's up, brother?
Yeah, I want to comment. I still want to comment on that shooting stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, there is a place for women everywhere. It's just that, you know, if they hired me as somebody for to show off and promote what they're saying, I pick, like for the Donald Trump incident, I pick a basketball playing woman. I pick Ronda Ramsey. I pick an ex-military woman that rolled with special forces. But I mean, you know, first of all, I believe the whole police force in Australia was probably gun shy because it's a gun shy culture, and it didn't stop nothing. These people still had guns. I don't care how they had guns. They misused guns. The general population didn't have guns. I mean, guns are there to hunt. Guns are there to make you feel safe. Dogs are there to make you feel safe. The communists don't want you to have either one. I'm tired of communists dictating my safety. Most probably communists wouldn't even want you to have medicine because it costs too much, and you're not in the party, and you're not important enough.
Hey, look, Renee, I appreciate you, brother. Look, it took me about 30 seconds to figure out what we were talking about, but once I figured it out, yeah, we kind of talked about that yesterday too, and I think what you meant yesterday, I think what you mean today, and I'm just going to echo, is like we can talk about a lot of things. Like we can debate about a lot of things. But one thing we should all recognize is there are people that don't care about laws. Okay? They don't care about your laws. So the only thing that's going to happen with these restrictive gun control measures is us law-abiding citizens, we're going to say, okay, we're not going to have guns. So then the only people that have guns is the government, which we should never trust, and bad guys, criminals, who also should be noted not to be trusted. But I might trust a criminal more than I trust a government. I'm just saying. The percentage of honesty might be higher. All right, made a bad mistake. I'm not a less of a sinner than you are, you know. But government has a problem. We're in a purging, though. It's okay. About 15 years. We can handle it. I'm serious. We can handle it. Got about another 15, maybe 20. Hopefully not. But it'll come. It'll come. We're going to have to get over it, Republicans, because some of these Republicans are going to have to realize that you're not Trump. So they're trying to do Trumpy tactics, and that's just only the Trumpster can, you know? Some of them tried to use it with the name-calling thing. Whew, that was brutal. That was bad. Not a good look. I'll leave names out. You probably can remember. I mean, it's not good when Trump does it, but I think everybody's like, he ain't changing. He ain't changing. And our border's protected. All right, guys, stick around. We're going to take a tiny little break. We're going to open the phone lines. Warren, I see you, baby. We'll come right back to you. back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from rumble.com. The Josh Guillory Show, also live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Man, let me tell y'all about my boys and gals over there at C Safe here in America, actually in Acadiana. Look, when strength matters, when custom matters, when failure is not an option, C Safe. C Safe delivers. C Safe FRP products are engineered to resist corrosion, reduce maintenance, and outlast the competition in the harshest environments. We know all about that. From offshore platforms to wastewater treatment plants, C Safe, everywhere in between, they're there. Their products are American-made and manufactured right here in Acadiana by American workers. Check them out, csafe.com. S-E-A, just like the ocean, just like the Gulf of America. America. All right. Woo, hey, I appreciate the chat over there warming up, the Rumble chat. You, too, can check us out at rumble.com. All right, let's go here. We're talking about the Obamacare subsidies. They expire in 2 weeks. We're going to wrap up that topic. I know these callers waiting have much wisdom to share with us. But the House leadership said, no, you can't do that. You can't pass these, just extend them. That's reckless. And we have this little House rule that says you got to cut spending. Well, where the hell has that rule been? But anyway, so four Republicans joined the Democrats, the minority leader, Hakeem Jeffries, and forced a vote on it to extend the Obamacare subsidies. That is very interesting, but the House has also passed a Republican-led competing bill that kind of proactively addresses some cuts. Now, admittedly, I think those are more mid to long-term successes that are needed. And that's why I think a plan could have addressed both, you know? I mean, I just... All right, let's go to Warren. He understands. Warren, what you got, buddy?
Josh.
What's up, bud?
You know, up in Minnesota and all that, you know, I did the hardest work in this country, the most dangerous work in this country. I got knocked out early, so I had to get disability. But I paid insurance, and they give these Somalis 5 times what they give me, and they're not even Americans. And this is all to provoke the American people, just like the pipe bombs. The FBI set those pipe bombs. They're behind that. The FBI and the CIA, they wanted to create a race war. I think they were going to kill Kamala Harris and blame it on the Republicans. But I'll say this, when they hear that whistle blowing, they'll hang their head and die.
Warren, packing a punch. Hey, man, look, when we're left to process the nonsense we're left to process, we're left to conclude things that may not make sense, but what we're looking at doesn't make sense. Warren makes just as much sense to me as what I see our government do. So I don't want to hear any of that. And I bet you a lot of folks are listening and watching right now saying, yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. And that probably wouldn't have been the answer 20 years ago because, I don't know, it definitely wouldn't have been the answer 35 years ago. And look, don't think it's been a constant decline. It hasn't been. 40 years ago was also a very big turning point in our country. In a big, large, because we were coming off of a Joe Biden type feel, just a culture of dead, a culture of no, a culture of we're sorry, a culture of we're sorry for being Americans, basically, and weakness all the way around, militarily, the border, economically. Like, can you please screw us some more? Are there any other ways that we can be screwed? Has anybody thought of any other ways that we can screw the American people? That's kind of what it feels like. But leadership over there, they got to do what leadership does, you know. But let's talk about leadership for a moment, you know. We could do that honestly because I like our leadership over there, you know. Because leadership is right that you can't just keep stapling expensive programs onto the federal budget forever and ever and ever and pretend that the math does not matter. They are very right in that position. Consistent? Consistent? Well, our national debt is what? 38 trillion? Where is that House rule? But leadership, man, I got to say it if we're going to be real, is also wrong to think that you can simply say no, offer no alternative, basically, and expect political reality to pause politely. And that's just not the case, especially with the Republicans. You act like we're going to get any benefit of the doubt. The smart conservative move was obvious months ago. Build a bridge, time limit it, reform it, means test it, please. Pair it with real spending cuts, force Democrats to vote against a responsible alternative, put them on the defense. But we want to argue over silly nonsense. I'm telling you, it's like some municipalities arguing over Mardi Gras parades when we got like roads to pave. All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back. A tiny little break. Q, don't go anywhere. It's going to be fun.
This hour of traffic brought to you by Glenn's Towing and Recovery, 989-0510. 989, a nickel and a dime. Traffic not looking too bad out there with a minor traffic accident, Collie Saloon at Meadow Farm Road. Another minor traffic accident in the 100th block of Travis Street. And a major accident, I-10 East, requiring a rescue squad. Watch out for the little Shab babies as they're headed home from school. Traffic controls are in effect. This hour of traffic brought to you by Glenn's Towing and Recovery, 989-0510. 989, a nickel and a dime. Stay tuned. Hour number 2 of the Josh Gilroy Show is up next.
Listening to The Josh Guillory Show, your base for truth, common sense, and a good time.
Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to hour number 2 of the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Also broadcasting live from the mothership, rumble.com, like Rumble in the Jungle. Look up the Josh Guillory Show, and you can join my friends over there that are tearing it up on the chat. I appreciate you guys. Hey, look, do us a little favor. So we ironed out the wrinkles here in Rumble. Go to rumble.com, check us out. And, it's free to follow us, and it helps us out a little bit. It allows us to open up some opportunities to bring more content to the folks and explore and expand the discussion and the dialogue. So we certainly appreciate you doing that. Just go to rumble.com, look up the Josh Guillory Show, give us a little follow. We certainly appreciate it. And join in on the fun. All right, this one is this is a hot mess. This one really is. I am about had it with this. You hear me? Fox News Digital has a piece on this new furry club at State University of New York at Plattsburgh. And it says that the student government approved a club called Plattsfur okay, Plattsfur, Plattsfur, as a provisional campus organization recognizing a different gender. So in plain English, here's what happened. A public college is formally recognizing a group built around students adopting animal personas, calling themselves fur babies, and asking the institution to treat that identity as something that deserves official protection and space. Man, I'm telling you, there are universities in this state that would love to do that anyway, would love to have their own fur baby club, but there's still enough pressure. So the reason why we're talking about it is because it could be in your community, this nonsense, fur babies. Anywho, this is our future young adults, by the way.
Future?
Yeah, how can they can't make a few, do they know how boys and girls are made? Because I don't know. I know how fur babies are made in a factory. In a factory. Jeez. All right, so this one again, I'm looking at a Fox News digital article, if you want to look it up. It's basically citing the College Fix, which is another publication, and also citing the campus paper. Cardinal Points, what a good source. Who knew? All right, so SUNY, State University of New York. I'm assuming that's what it goes by, SUNY. So SUNY Plattsburgh student government, they approved it 11-1. I am only noting that because who's that brave student that said, guys, like, hold on. You say, I mean, they could dress up in a costume. That's fine. There's freedom of speech by all means. Go do it. But to make me identify you as a non-boy or girl is not science, not logical, quite hard to understand how people so educated can be so dumb. Questionable. Interesting. The club reportedly started with a humble 17 fur babies, but we're growing. Don't worry. They've already hosted events like a coloring page, a meet and greet, a little campfire meetup that was scheduled. I mean, we better toughen some of these folks up. The article says, by the way, I love campfires. Just throwing that out there. And quite frankly, I have, I'm a dad. I've done my fair share of coloring pages. Don't know if I like them anymore. But the article says that, golly, it's hard to get this one out. The article says furry clubs are spreading across campuses nationwide. I told you. And it cites examples at other universities. It puts a claim that there are large numbers of university chapters globally. Did y'all know about it? Is there a UL Lafayette Fur Baby Club? I don't want to say it too loud. Are there any other Louisiana? Is LSU doing that? Is there a Fur Baby Club of McNeese? I ain't even going to ask about Nichols. It ain't happening. There ain't no way them people in Thibodeau are going to put up with that. They're probably the one that has it. All right. So here's the deal. There's so much to talk about on this. And, I'm probably going to say what everybody's thinking, but it's worth saying it. But also, no, I'm going to say this because this story could go somewhere, and I don't want it to go a certain way. This story, by the way, has nothing to do with gay rights because a lot of in the chat boards and the messaging boards, even today, there's like lumping everything in paint broad brush, and that's we're better than that. We're smarter than that. We're more. We can anyway. I digress. But period. It's not about gay rights. Has nothing to do with it. Equality under the law means the government does not treat people differently because of certain things that they can't control, like race, gender, sexual orientation, things like that. Most conservatives I know believe that. I do. This story, though, is about something else entirely. It is about public institutions getting bullied, bored, ideologically captured into, how else can I say it, into validating confusion as an identity project. These universities are being held hostage by a cult that they are allowing to exist. They are giving fire gas. A fur baby is not a sexuality. It is not a sexual orientation. It is a costume, and it is make-believe. It is not a protected class, as this group wants it to be, and voted 11-1. Their student government did. It's not some basic civil rights movement. There's not any of this. Most Democrats don't support this, but yet only Democrats support this. Not all the Democrats are crazy. It's just all the crazy people pushing this are Democrats. I don't know what else to say. I mean, look, it's a fur baby. It is facts are facts. Truth is important. It is a costume and persona obsession that gets treated like a moral claim by a small fraction of the population. I mean, people can dress up however they want. Off campus, they probably can dress like it on campus. I mean, you be you, you know? Wear a tail to Comic-Con. I don't care. Stop trying to make it where it's a doggone gender. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. We are broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Acadiana. Also broadcasting live on Rumble. Let me go check you out over there. Oh, we got a little chat from the YouTubes as well. Good, YouTube channel. And you can go to my social, my X page, at Josh Guillory USA. Go to all the shows, social medias as well, and we're all up in there. Thank y'all for a great chat. We certainly appreciate that. Wellness Wednesday follows this segment. Also, this segment's brought to you by our friends over there at C-Safe. C-Safe, S-E-A, like the ocean, man. Go check it out. You know, you want products that matter. You want strength that matters. You want custom that matters. You want failure that is not even an option, so we're going to avoid that. C-Safe delivers, so go check them out, man. Their products are all American-made. They are manufactured right here at Acadiana by American workers. Just remember all the C-Safe FRP products. They're engineered to resist corrosion, reduce maintenance, and outlast the competition in the harshest environments. Check them out, csafe.com. S-E-A, just like the ocean, C-Safe. Go check them out. Shout out to my man Clay over there at C-Safe. Love that guy. Love all those folks. Now, we are talking about, shout out to the fur babies. Hey, why not? Why not? Shout out to all the fur babies out there. If you're listening to the Josh Guillory Show, that would be interesting. Hello. I identify as a male. All right, so there's this South University or State University of New York, okay, Plattsburgh, and they're saying they're recognizing a new gender that I didn't even know existed, and it's fur baby. We talked about this on the show, but this is like a real thing, and they're saying, don't worry. They're coming to a campus near you, so you too can see little fur babies.
Yeah.
This is crazy. All right, so the problem starts here when a public institution starts stamping it with legitimacy. That's the problem. You know, SUNY over there building like safe spaces around it as if it's a vulnerable identity that must be affirmed. I mean, that's where sanity has to show up at some point and say, no, I'm telling you, my friends that are Democrats here, they don't believe in all that. Most Democrats, most Republicans, most Americans understand that there are two genders. My audience isn't crazy. Neither am I most times. There are two genders. Male, female. What? Boys and girls, men and women. The rest is word games. Therapy talk. Social contagion. That does not mean that we hate anybody, though. You know, that means we refuse to lie. That's all we're saying is we refuse to lie. Republican, Democrat, on this issue, we refuse to lie. I'm not doing the new religion where feelings outrank reality and everybody else has to participate in the ritual to prove they are kind. And who gets to determine this craziness? I feel like sometimes they go to kindergarten and they're like, what's the wildest idea your little mind has? Well, I want to be a squirrel, Miss Jan. Well, great. You be a little squirrel, you little squirrel. I mean, come on. These guys are acting, I mean, I'm telling you, if I let, here's where it's wild. These are young adults. I guess at least they're not kids, but I mean, someone's going to have to, they're going to find out that the world's going to eat them up and spit them out. I don't know what to say. I mean, they're not always going to be in cookie room. They're not always going to be in warm milk and little cookies in their little fur baby safe space. Jeez. They are confused, though, okay? I mean, there is a compassionate truth to this, that we should have compassion and we should identify with truth. That's what we should identify with. But, man, these kids, I mean, a lot of them aren't monsters. They're confused, probably lonely, I would imagine. Very lonely in that world. Anxious, you know, attention-starved maybe. Who knows? Who knows what baggage they're bringing? We all bring our own baggage. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. Trust me, I got like 10 of them. I got a sleigh full of baggage. I just roll around with it. Or some of them just stuck in an online like dopamine loop over and over. Like, think about it. I'm trying to bring some objectivity to this. You know, they're being told that the path to meaning is like a new label. That's that identity, a new identity. You can choose your own future and destiny. You always could in this country. But doing this, you ain't going to be able to go outside your house in some communities. I mean, like, really. These people are grown-ups by age. They put on costumes. They pretend they're real and then shame all of us for not having compassion when we say, you're in a costume. I'm not going to treat you like a separate gender or even a species. You're still a human. You just dressed up like a doggone fur baby. And is there like a I don't know this fur baby word. Is there like a hierarchy? Is there like one like super fur? Like the grand fur baby? Because it can't be that many people. Like, is it like the grand, like probably like at SUNY, is like the grand fur baby like presiding over all the fur baby initiatives across the country? Like, you know what I mean?
They could have their own legislative body.
They don't say it too loud. Oh, well, speaking of a legislative body, 11-1, the Student Government Association voted to recognize this class. And I'm like, who's the one? Way to go. Way to go. Way to go. You know? But, you know, we're laughing and all. But this extremism and this silliness, you know, this is where largely our colleges are failing us. They're failing our country. You know, the modern campus, if you really dive into it, has turned into a factory for making people fragile. Little fragile pieces of glass. They call everything belonging and safe. But the end product is students who can't handle disagreement. They can't handle reality. They can't handle adulthood. They can't handle a diversity of thought. They preach the same talking points of indoctrination, of tolerance, unless they disagree, of course. Then we wonder why employers complain that new hires can't cope, they can't speak, they can't write, they can't lead. But I say that's a minority of the thought, because there are overwhelming majority of the American workforce is awesome. Is awesome. I just had to kind of throw that in there because it's kind of funny. But I want to maintain my truth, the truth that I see, and I genuinely believe the American worker is a special person. We just got to make sure it's still operating in capitalism, seriously. To promote that ingenuity, to promote that thought, that fire that made us who we are. Universities, come on, man. You're crippling us. You're crippling us. A university exists, at least what I think, is to teach hard skills and serious thinking, time management, things like that. Showing employers and other folks of people that walk paths before you, that you can take information that's new, process it in an organized way, and show that you have retained it. That's about the most you can expect out of college. There's very few undergraduates that lead to other things, seriously, that build on it. Maybe pre-med and med, you know, but I'm a marketing major. I mean, what that has nothing to do with law. Nothing to do with my profession. See? But a university exists to do all these things. Not to validate every doggone identity trend that rolls in from TikTok. Man, if a student wants a club, great. Go for it. You can have clubs for chess, for fishing, for film, for weightlifting, 100 harmless things. And you can have a club that says we dress up like fur babies. But to demand that the institution, that fellow students, that society, that anybody other than these folks pretending has to recognize them as a separate gender and a protected class is not only un-American, but silly. And absence of common sense. And where is our follow the science people? I thought we were going to follow the science. Follow the science. You're evil if you don't. You know who knows some good stuff about science? Dr. Kevin at Dr. Kevin's Wellness Clinic. Then let me tell y'all, Wellness Wednesday coming up right after this. Stay tuned. Man, that time flies by. Be careful out there. May God bless you and be kind.